Hello everybody and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. Today's snapshot is 14W03B and there was an A that came out earlier and then they rolled out a bug fix with a new feature for skins, so I thought I would show you the skins feature. First of all, now you can see that I am looking very strange at the moment. That's because there are new skins and I found this template on Reddit that shows you how to edit them. Now if we go into the options menu, you can see there is a new menu called skin customization, and when we go in here we can turn a cape. If you have one, you can turn that on and off. Now one thing to note here is you cannot actually have custom capes anymore, so things like optifine capes will be removed from the game. Now you can turn your jacket on and off. You now have a left sleeve, a right sleeve, left pants, left legs, and a hat that you can turn on and off. Let's turn the hat off first of all. So where you have your regular skin, you now have an extra layer that goes over each of them, and also your legs and arms can now be separate because previously the textures on those were mirrored. Now one thing that I want to point out is that this extra layer that goes over your skin, armor will actually appear on top of it. So you can see there that that appears over the top of our jacket. Now let's go back into the menu and just remove the rest of them so you can see how it changes. And there we go. So now skins have changed. I think that's pretty awesome. You may have also seen this picture that was posted on the Mojang blog. This is of Dinnerbone and Grum, and that might make a lot more sense because what they've done is they've combined their skins together, but they've made it so that parts of their skin are on the outside layer and parts of them are on the inside. So with the changes to the skins also comes a new skin server which is going to be much more reliable. So when you're playing on a multiplayer server you shouldn't see lots of Steves. And also the skin changes are live, so when someone changes their skin you should be able to see it in game. If not, you might just have to relog instead of completely restarting your client. And as I already mentioned, capes can only be worn if they are legit, so no more optifine capes. But first of all we're going to have a look at some of the new command block features that have been added. So first of all, there is now some extra parameters for teleporting. Now what each one of these blocks is going to do is teleport me in the same position but facing to the right. So you can now teleport players with a predetermined position for what direction they're going to face. So when I press this button it's going to take me to the next one, and like that. So let's have a look at one of these command blocks. You can see we have the 3 coordinates here, and that little squiggle just means exactly where you are, and then this one right here, this number will be the direction you're facing in. So that goes from 0 all the way around to 360. Now the number that comes after it, which also has a little squiggle there, is for your up and down direction. So you can now teleport players facing from left to right and up and down as well. So I've set up a little demonstration for this as well. This one will take us to the one above and then up to the top like that, and then back down to the bottom. So if we have a look here you can see it just specifies a number, and again that goes from 180 to minus 180 like that. And that is a full 360, but the 0 is the level height that you look at like this. So anyway, let's go over to the next command block. This is the fill command. This is almost like World Edit or MC Edit in the game. This is pretty impressive stuff right here. So if you have a look again, we've got the squiggly lines because we're going to specify coordinates that are relative to the command block. So the first 3 specify that set of coordinates, then the next 3 specify another. So if you imagine it's 2 corners of a cube, that is the selection that we're making, and we're going to fill this thing with red wool. So let's do that. And there we have a cube of red wool just by pressing a button. So I'm sure some of you are seeing the power of this already. If we press this button we can change it to blue wool, and if we press the one over here we're not going to change it to glass, we're actually going to remove it completely because we're selecting the same position and just setting it with air. So there is another change to command blocks which we can actually take a look at while we're using this command. Now I've typed in the item ID here, we can actually type in the block name now. So if I type in Minecraft and let's go with ice, then you'll see that this will work. It will create a selection of ice, which is very interesting. But this next change, this next new command even with the command blocks, is really powerful. It is the clone command. So when I stand on that pressure plate we're going to activate the command block and we're going to clone this tree and place it over there. Check that out. That is awesome. That is a very powerful tool right there. Let's have a look at this command. It's called clone. So you do /clone and then you need to specify 3 sets of coordinates. So the first one is the bottom of our selection, and then this one is the top right. So we are specifying 2 coordinates. One of them I think is that block right there, and then the other one is over on this side of the tree. It's either there or there. And so we specify those 2 coordinates and it means it's going to select everything inside of that. In fact, if we now do this, it's going to copy the wall over as well. And then the third coordinate that we specify is going to be the northwest corner of where we want to paste this. So this selection right here, the northwest corner is going to be pasted in this area over here. So we are specifying, let's have a look, it is north and west, so this corner here, it's this block right here that we're specifying with the third coordinate that's been inputted into that command block. Now there is also an extra command at the very end, which is masked. Now what mask does is it doesn't replace any air blocks. So if I go and put a whole bunch of blocks like this in this selection and we stand on here, you're going to see that red block will be changed back, but the other ones will be left alone. And then if we change that mask to replace, that's the name of the other command, then it's actually going to remove those extra blocks that we've placed down. So this last feature I have been unfortunately unable to figure out, but I'm sure some of you will get it. It seems to be a little bit temperamental, but previously you could select a coordinate and then we got /say here, so it's going to list all of the entities, and then you could specify a radius. So this would be 9 blocks around where this cow is here. Now the radius is normally in a sphere shape, so it wouldn't include this pig, even though it's 9 by 9 blocks away from that cow, because it would have been a sphere shape. So what you can now do is specify 2 sets of coordinates like this. The second set is supposed to be relative. I've tried it with them relative and also with them specifying exact coordinates. And so what you'd be able to do is make a cubic region to select for whatever it is you want to do, an entity or a player, and that would then include both the cow and the pig, but unfortunately I couldn't get it to work. So there are a few things that I missed from last week's snapshot. Of course I want to keep you up to date with everything. This chest that I showed, it could be locked using the command blocks, and this command right here, it has the lock and then it has a name. Now whatever you specify this name to be, you can actually open the locked chest with an item that's renamed to that. So if we lock it, you can see when I right click on it, it says the chest is locked, and then I've renamed this stick in an anvil to secret, which is our passcode, and when I right click on the chest, it means we can access it and get those items inside. Now there are some crafting recipes that I missed out on as well. If you take some stone brick slabs and put them like this, you can create yourself chiseled stone blocks, which were previously only available in creative mode. And then we have the mossy stone bricks as well. You can now craft those with stone bricks and vines, which is interesting. And also slime blocks are uncraftable. You can actually turn them back into slime balls. And then we have nether quartz and cobblestone. If we put these into a grid like this, we can create diorite. I'm not sure how you actually say that. And then if we put the diorite with just quartz like this, we get ourselves granite. And if we put the diorite with cobblestone, then we can craft ourselves some andesite. There was also a change made with baby animals as well. You can now give them wheat and it will make them grow up faster. Now we can see this with the particle effect. When I right click on them, they get the little green particles around them. But it does take some time and a fair amount of wheat to get them to grow. So I'm just going to sit here and keep feeding them wheat until one of them grows into an adult. And there we go, at last he grows into an adult. So 2 other changes that have been made as well. When villagers get struck by lightning, they will turn into witches, which I think is pretty amusing. And also villager roads, which are made out of gravel, will now generate with cobble underneath them. But that is it for this snapshot video. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like. It is always appreciated. And last of all, I'd just like to let you know that I've actually started off a second channel, and that is for my server. We have posted our first server tour video on there. If you are interested in watching that, there's a link on the screen and in the description box. But that is it. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.